What is going on, everybody? My name is Austin. Welcome to the channel where we talk about everything comic book related, movies, TV shows, and comic books themselves. Today we're here to talk about Absolute Batman issue number 12. Holy crap, was it insane. Scott Snyder has been on an absolute roll with this series. It's not ridiculous to say, in my opinion, that he's one of the best Batman writers that we've ever had. And it's not gonna come to a stop anytime soon. He came out and said that they have up to 35 issues written and planned out for this series. Anyways, I'll stop wasting our time here. Let's get right into the issue. So the issue picks up with Bruce and Waylon in the sewer after escaping from Arc M, and Bruce tells Waylon, you saved me, and Waylon says, yes, now you save me. Bruce says, I will, I swear, I'll find a cure, and Waylon interrupts and says, no, the hunger, Bruce, it hurts too much, please, save me. Waylon is basically asking Bruce to end his life, and Bruce reaches for the ear on his cowl and tries to stab Waylon, but he can't bring himself to do it. But Waylon says, then I will, and he reaches for Bruce's hand and grabs the knife out of it and attempts to stab himself, but Bruce kicks him in the face and says, I said no. Waylon roars at him and says, I should have left you in that place, and he swims down into the water and away from Bruce, with Bruce yelling at him, wait, we can beat this way, Waylon! But Waylon doesn't respond and swims away. We then cut to a flashback where Bruce and Selina are looking at an apartment to move into, and the person giving them the tour says, oh, just a reminder though, no pets at all, that includes cats, and Bruce says, filthy animals, we wouldn't dream of it, and Selina says, we'll take it, and the lady says, wonderful, I'll give you two a moment to envision, and Bruce says, want to know what I'm envisioning, and Selina says, stop, something's bothering you, talk, Wayne, and Bruce says, it's Waylon. I don't know what to do. And she asked, did you tell him the truth? And he said, he's not going to listen. I know him. He really believes he can win. And Selina says, then help him win. Bruce says, how? And she says, same way we got this spot. If the rules aren't fair, stop playing by them. We then cut to find Bruce waking up from a sleep in bed, and a voice tells him, easy, easy. And he says, how long have I been out? And it's Alfred, and Alfred says, it's been 20 days since I found you collapsed on the floor of this place. And Bruce is like, 20 freaking days? Alfred says, yes, and you need a hell of a lot more. The things they did to your body, I'm not sure you fully comprehend. There's a delivery system woven into your spine and brain, all loaded with that compound venom. There's no telling. Bruce interrupts and says, I'm fine, Pennyworth. And Alfred says, no, kid, you need to hear this. What you did, things have changed. Now you're in it. You understand? And Bruce says, I get it. Now I'm going to need you to move. Bruce leaves Alfred behind and starts walking through Gotham City, where he comes across a missing persons poster of himself, when all of a sudden the effects of the venom kick in and cause him to freak out for a second. Bruce makes his way back home to find his mom, and she comes running towards him and says, Bruce? Oh, thank God. And the first thing she does is smack him across the face. Bruce apologizes. He says, Mom, I'm so sorry. And she says, stop. Just let me hold you for a while. She continues by saying, I was so scared of getting that phone call again every time it rang. And then with what happened to Ozzy, and Bruce says, hold on. Ozzy? Immediately, Bruce heads over to the hospital, where he's greeted by Jim Gordon, who tells him, I'm glad to see you, Bruce. Your mother, she was... And Bruce says, thanks, Mr. Gordon, for watching over her. Gordon continues by saying, your family, son, and the truth is, looking at you, if I was still commissioner, I'd arrest you before I let you walk out of this place without a doctor checking you out. But now Bruce tries to make his way into the room, but Dr. Leslie Tompkins says, Bruce, honey, hold on. Did anyone explain? Bruce interrupts and says, please, Dr. Tompkins, just let me see him. And she says, all right, but I have to warn you, Bruce, I've never seen anything like it. And we get our first look at what Bane did to Oswald Cobblepot. It truly is horrifying. I mean, he doesn't even look human. And Dr. Tompkins said, whoever did this is an abomination. She explains what happened, and she says they broke nearly every bone in Oswald's body, some in multiple places, but somehow they did it in a way that missed each vital organ. It was precise, surgical, cruel beyond measure. If Oswald lives, he'll be almost 2 feet shorter in his hands, his feet. It'll be hard, Bruce, a life of constant pain. And Bruce says, I'll do whatever I can. We all will. Has Harvey come by? And she's confused. She says, Harvey? Did they not tell you? And Bruce says, tell me what, Dr. Tompkins? Tell me what? And she says, Harvey is in the next room. So Bruce goes over to Harvey's room, and Dr. Tompkins says, it's bad, Bruce. 3rd to 4th degree burns across the left side of his body, straight 50%. But worse, they crushed his skull, cracked it down the center. When the police found him, his head was basically living in 2 separate parts. Now, Harvey says the name Flass, and Bruce walks up to him and says, "Harv, it's Bruce." And Harvey says, "You remember that one truant cop when we were kids, Bruce? Flass, always one step ahead no matter how stealthy we tried to be. And when he caught you, he got that look like I see you. You remember him?" And Bruce says, "I remember." And Harvey continues by saying, like he knew all the shit you were hiding, and me, he had this special hate for me. "You're fooling yourself," he'd say. "You stick with these losers, they'll bring you down hard," Flass would say to me. He was right. He was right. Meanwhile, you have Bane telling Harvey when he was about to beat him up, saying, "Let me guess, the big brother of this little group, the protector, and yet you're also destined to be the traitor, because your friends, they're all outlaws, and you, with your principles, your ambitions, those eyes, you established this ritual long ago, didn't you? This poker game, a safe place where the stakes are void, where you can be both forever. Outlaw and lawman, friend and enemy, a microcosm, gambling for plastic coins, all pretend, but the time for pretending is over." Bane shoves Harvey's face down into the opened bottle of alcohol and lights a match and burns Harvey's face. Harvey continues talking to Bruce in the hospital bed, saying, "I heard he's retired somewhere, Flass. Metropolis, Gateway City, I should look him up." Bruce says, "I'm so sorry, Harvey. This is all my fault." And Harvey says, Yes, it is. You gambled for real, Bruce. Put it all out there, your friends, the city, everything, all the chips. Now get out of here. If it's any consolation though, I only hate you half the time." Bruce goes and finds Eddie and he says, "Eddie, are you alright?" And he responds and says, "I'm fine, Bruce, just over here working." And Bruce says, "Thank God, I thought maybe he hurt you too." And Eddie says, No, he didn't hurt me. In fact, he was very gentlemanly. He challenged me to a friendly battle of wits." And Bruce is like, "What?" Eddie says, "Yeah. Said if I won, he'd even let me kill him. He even handed me his gun. Can you believe it? 'I'll bet you like riddles,' he said." And Bruce is like, What did you do?" Eddie says, "It only took him a minute to beat me. And before I knew it, he was shaking my head, slamming the front of my brain into my skull. The frontal lobe, the part responsible for intelligence, bang. It was wild, Bruce. Like bang. And suddenly facts became questions. Bang. Questions everywhere. So no, Bruce, he didn't hurt me at all. He helped me. He was challenging me. Maybe he was challenging all of us to become more. Become what we're meant to be." And Bruce says, "Eddie, we need to get you to a hospital." But when he says that, he gets a flinch of pain from the venom in his own body. And Eddie says, "Ooh, looks like he challenged you too, Bruce. So riddle me this. What are you going to do about it?" We get yet another flashback scene where Bruce and Selina go to talk to Carmine Falcone. And Selina says, "We've come here to offer you a deal." And he says, kids, I gotta say, showing up with no appointment, sneaking through the frickin' bushes, you got nerve." And he says, "A deal? Hold on a minute. I know you. You're Waylon Croc Jones's trainer, aren't you? Let me guess, you want a bibbo to go easy on your boy. Or maybe you're looking to cash out. Guess Jones is less of a crocodile and more a crock of shit." But Bruce says what's in the bag is a gesture, some of the finest gold work in the city. And Falcone says, "How do I even know it's real?" And he says, "Maybe because it's yours, stolen from apartments that you own." And Falcone's like, "What?" And Bruce says, "See, we're not looking to cash out. We're looking to raise." Obviously calling back to that earlier flashback panel when Selina told Bruce to stop playing by the rules. We cut back to Bruce and Alfred, and Bruce is on the phone with the Red Hood gang and he's telling them to stand down. He says, "I mean it's off, all of it." And the leader of the Red Hood gang says, "Nothing's off. You don't get to tell the Red Hood gang what's..." And before he can finish, Bruce hangs up the phone and Alfred was like, "What was that about?" Bruce says, "You were right when the Black Mask offered that deal. I didn't even consider it. Not really. I didn't see." And Alfred says, "So that's it, kid? You closing down operations?" Bruce slams his fist into the table and says, "He broke them, Pennyworth, my friends." And Alfred responds, "That's right. He did. The question is, are you going to let him break you? You chose this, Bruce. I told you, you're in it now. Everything has changed and there's no going back. There's only through. So get ready because it's only going to get..." And right before he can finish, the alarm starts to go off. Someone's breached the hatch. Alfred says, "He's here. Bane. Alright, he loves war so much, let's bloody give it to him. And Alfred is sitting here posted up with a minigun. That gun is almost as big as his body. And it looks like Bruce and Alfred are finally going to stand up to Bane. They start to walk around and search for Bane, and Alfred says, "Where are you? Come out and face us." But a rope comes down and grabs Alfred out of nowhere, catching him by the neck. And whoever this is lands one punch on Alfred and knocks him out clean. And Bruce says, "You? What are you fucking doing here?" And it's revealed to be absolute Catwoman, and she says, "Well, hello to you too, Bruce." Oh my god, what an ending to that issue. This was amazing. Scott Snyder continues to write absolute gas for this series. And what's crazy to me is that this is not even going to be the peak of the series, in my honest opinion. Yes, Bane is so good. He's such a great villain. This is probably the most terrifying that he's ever been. But Scott Snyder at a panel said that we're going to get Absolute Scarecrow sooner rather than later. I believe he said issue 17. I can't wait for Absolute Scarecrow to be introduced. And he also said that eventually we will get all three Robins: Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake. Unfortunately, we won't get any Damian because he said logically it's almost impossible to do because he's so young. It would have to be someone else's kid. This series continues to be one of my favorites of the Absolute lines. I'd probably still put Absolute Wonder Woman over it. I think it's my second favorite Absolute title going on right now. It's just so good, and I really hope that this series continues to keep going for as long as Scott Snyder wants to keep it going. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this issue. What are your thoughts on Absolute Batman? And what are your thoughts on the new rogues that just got created in this issue? That's it for me. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.